The moment Elena stood up, I knew. That rehearsed smile, the way she gripped her wine glass like a trophy, I'd seen it before. 14 years old, grounded for a party I never attended. Her voice cut through the clinking forks and murmured thanks. Before we carved the turkey, she announced, "There's something we need to say." My stomach dropped. The room went still. "We had a family vote," she said, sweeping her gaze across the table like she was accepting an award. "And we've decided you're not family anymore." Silence. Then cheering. Actual cheering. I laughed, soft and hollow. "Then I guess you won't need this." The folder hit the table with a quiet thud. Her scream told me everything. Sophia's applause echoed like we were at some kind of sick performance, her hands slamming together with a cruel rhythm. Uncle Steve lifted his wine glass in a mocking salute, the red liquid catching the light like blood. And my mother, my own mother, just laughed, casual as anything, and said, "Well, someone had to say it." My fingers curled into fists under the table, my plate of cold stuffing untouched. Dad wouldn't even look at me, just took another slow sip of beer and muttered, "It's probably for the best." "Wow," I whispered, the words scraping my throat raw as I pushed my chair back. "You guys actually rehearsed this?" Elena's grin stretched wider, triumphant. "You've been toxic for years," she said, like it was the easiest truth in the world. "We're just finally done pretending." "You're not family," my mother added, reaching for the cranberry sauce like she was passing the goddamn salt. "It's unanimous." I searched their faces, desperate for one flicker of hesitation, one voice to break the silence. Nothing. Just empty stares. "Good," I said, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. Then I reached into my bag and muttered, "I knew this would come," my voice tight as I slid the thick folder onto the table. It landed with a heavy thunk, silencing the room. Elena's laughter died in her throat. "What is this?" she asked, her tone laced with suspicion. I didn't answer right away, just leaned back, arms crossed, watching her. "Open it," I finally said, my voice low. She grabbed it, tearing into the folder with that smug grin she always had when she thought she held all the power. But then her fingers froze. The smirk vanished. Her face drained of color as she flipped through the pages, faster and faster, until her breath hitched. And then she screamed. Not just a shout, but a raw, gut-wrenching shriek that clawed at the air. Her chair toppled as she shot up, slamming the folder shut like it was poison. "You monster!" she choked out, her voice trembling with rage and disbelief. The words hit the room like a slap. "You messed up, twisted weirdo!" Derek, my husband, grabbed the folder, his fingers trembling as he flipped it open. His face went pale. He looked at me, eyes wide with disbelief. "Is this?" I didn't blink. "It's all real. Every word, every receipt, every screenshot." Silence swallowed the room. The clink of a fork from the kitchen sounded like a gunshot. My mother gaped, her mouth opening and closing like she was drowning in the truth. "You were so sure I wouldn't fight back," I said, rising slowly, my voice steady but burning. "So sure I'd stay quiet. The doormat, the cash cow." I leaned in, locking eyes with Elena, my voice dropping to a whisper. "But your little show? It's over. You want to know what was in that folder? I'll tell you. But first, let me show you how we got here." Because Elena didn't just wake up one day and decide I wasn't family. This was years in the making. The truth is, I was never their favorite, not even close. Elena was the golden child, the one who could charm a room with her perfect smile and effortless lies. She had them wrapped around her finger, while I was just the quiet one, the one who kept to herself. They mistook my silence for weakness, but I was never weak. I moved out at 19, worked 2 jobs, paid my own way through college, never asked for a damn thing. Meanwhile, Elena flunked out of 2 majors, took a gap year in Europe to find herself, then came home and married Derek, a walking LinkedIn profile in a blazer. And the wedding? I paid for half. My parents swore they couldn't afford it, yet somehow they managed a 2-week cruise right after. It wasn't one moment that broke me. It was years, brick by brick, comment by comment, betrayal by betrayal. They made sure I knew my place, and I finally did. I never complained. Not once. Even when they laughed and called me the family accountant, I kept helping. $3,500 for Dad's root canal, $600 when Mom swore the gas company would shut off the heat, $2,000 to cover Sophia's tuition after she got waitlisted for her scholarship. They always said thank you, but it never felt like enough. There was always that edge to it, that unspoken, "Of course you'll help. What else do you have going on?" And maybe that's what finally got to me. Because yeah, I'm single. No kids, no spouse, no chaos, just me, my job, and my dog. But to them, that meant my life was just an open wallet. Elena was the worst. The second Derek got laid off, her first call was to me. Just a small loan? When her transmission blew out, you make six figures. Like my money was just sitting there, waiting for their emergencies. Like I didn't have my own life, my own worries. I never said no, but God, I felt it. Every time. What's $2,000? Like it was nothing. Like it was pocket change. But when her kid needed therapy and insurance slammed the door in her face, guess who she called? Me. Always me. Because family, right? That's what I told myself. At first it was help. Then it became duty. Then it wasn't even a question, just an expectation, a demand. It started with little jabs, the kind that sting but leave no mark. Oh, you brought wine? Must be nice to afford the good stuff. Or, of course you're early, no kids to slow you down. Then sharper. I wish I could work late every night and avoid my husband too. But it didn't stop there. The words turned cruel. You're so cold. Maybe that's why you're still alone. You don't understand real stress. You don't have a real life. You're just bitter because no one needs you. Except they did need me. Over and over. In silence behind closed doors. Where it counted. Where it cost. And then, the text. Elena hit me with it out of nowhere. Hey, can you co-sign for a small business loan? Derek and I want to start a wellness cafe. My answer was simple. No? The silence that followed was deafening. Wow. Really, she said, like I just stabbed her in the back. That was 3 months ago. 3 months of icy silence. Mom's calls stopped. Dad's texts shrank to single words. The last family dinner? No invite. Then Elena blocked me after posting some vague crap about cutting out toxic people. But I didn't just sit there and take it. I got to work, pulling receipts, digging through records. Because I keep track of everything. Bank transfers, emails, screenshots, dates. I'm not an idiot. And when I added it all up, over the last 5 years, I'd handed them more than $85,000. $85,000. $15,000 for Derek's rehab. $800 for Elena's emergency dental work, which turned out to be elective veneers. The numbers don't lie. $2,000 for my dad's back surgery. $15,000 to wipe my mom's credit card clean. $7,500 to get Sophia settled into college. $3,200 for a so-called family emergency. Just a vacation in Cancun. And not a single one of them ever tried to pay me back. Not a word. Just open hands, empty promises. The moment I stopped giving, I became the villain. So I built the folder, every transfer receipt, every desperate text begging for cash, every email twisting my arm. Screenshots of Elena telling her friend I was manipulative, just for saying no. A 5-year timeline of every cent I handed over. And then the real gems, their posts laughing at me, mocking me. Elena's private message calling me a cash cow with no spine, thinking I'd never see it. They took everything. I kept the receipts. She opened the folder and then she screamed. Because it wasn't just exposure. It was annihilation. Every secret, every lie, every dollar laid bare. Elena wasn't just caught. She was unraveled, piece by piece, line by line, until there was nothing left to hide. The room froze. My mom swayed, her face drained of color. Derek's eyes locked onto the page, his voice hollow as he read aloud. $40,200 to cover Elena's credit card used at a hotel in Beverly Hills with someone named Olivia. His hands trembled. What is this? I stayed silent. For once, I didn't have to explain. The truth was right there, undeniable. My mom's voice cracked. You kept records? Of everything? I met her gaze steady. You never remembered. So I did. Elena stood rigid, her face ghostly white, knuckles white with the force of her clenched fists. Her gaze flickered between Derek, me, and the folder, her voice trembling with fury. This is a violation, she hissed. You had no right. No right. I rose slowly, the words bitter on my tongue. You stood in front of this entire family and declared me not family. You all clapped. And now you're angry because I came prepared? Derek turned another page, his jaw clenched. What's this about Beverly Hills? Elena whipped her head toward him. Don't. Who's Olivia? He pressed, voice strained. Why were you at a hotel for 3 nights on my credit card? The silence that followed was deafening. Wait, my mom interrupted, hands raised in a weak plea. Can we just calm down and talk this through? Sure, I said, cold and measured. Let's be reasonable. Let's talk about the time you called me a parasite while cashing the check I sent you. She flinched. That's not fair. We were under stress. No, I cut in, my voice sharp. You were under stress. And every single time I was the one who pulled you out. But the moment I say no, just once, suddenly I'm the villain? My dad, silent until now, finally spoke. You're blowing this out of proportion. I turned to him, my voice dropping low, raw. You let them do this to me for years. You knew. You saw it. You heard it. And you did nothing because it was easier than standing up to them. He didn't deny it. Elena slammed her hand on the table. You're just bitter because no one needs you anymore. Wrong, I said, icy. I'm not bitter. I'm done. She let out a harsh laugh. You're pathetic. You really think this is some grand moment? Bringing a folder? Printing screenshots? You think this makes you the victim? Her words cut, sharp and accusing. You're just proving you're a control freak. My chest tightened. And you're just proving, I shot back, voice low, that you only cared about me when I was paying your bills. You don't get to play the martyr, she shouted, her anger flaring. You chose to help. You didn't have to. I took a step forward, my hands trembling, not from sadness, from pure, seething rage. And yet somehow, I said, the words bitter on my tongue, you expected it every single time, until it wasn't help anymore. It was duty. And when I stopped, my voice cracked. You voted me out. I swallowed hard, forcing the next words out. You didn't want a brother. You wanted a wallet with legs. Derek stood, gripping the folder in his hands. His voice was quiet, but it carried weight. Is this true? He turned to Elena, searching her face. All of this? For once, Elena had no answer. No fake tears, no deflection. Just silence. Derek's expression darkened. You lied to me. About the hotel, about the money, about him. You made it sound like he was crazy. I had to. Her voice cracked, raw with desperation. He was turning everyone against me. I wasn't, I said, cold and quiet. You did that all by yourself. The silence that followed was thick, suffocating. Then my mom leaned in, her voice trembling, trying one last time. Listen, honey, maybe we overreacted, but this is still family. Families fight. Can't we just move past this? I didn't let her finish. You're not hearing me, she froze. What? I'm not asking for peace. I'm not asking for forgiveness. My voice didn't waver. I'm telling you, I'm done. Elena scoffed, rolling her eyes. Oh, spare us the drama. You've said that before? I held her gaze unflinching. Not like this. Then I reached into my coat pocket and pulled out another envelope. What now? My dad asked, his voice heavy with exhaustion. I flung the papers onto the table. Derek snatched them before they could slip off the edge. He unfolded the pages, skimmed the first line, then froze. His eyes locked onto mine, stunned. What is this? He breathed. I didn't let him finish. Power of attorney for mom, revoked. Medical proxy, gone. Emergency contact, erased. I signed everything. Legally, emotionally, I'm done. None of you are my responsibility anymore. My mother's breath hitched. You're really doing this? Cutting us out? Yes, I said, the words sharp, final. Starting now, her voice cracked. You're selfish. We messed up, but we're still your family. I turned to face her, my voice low, steady, leaving no room for argument. Not anymore. No, you're not. The words hung in the air as I grabbed my coat, my fingers trembling. One last look at their shocked faces, mouths half open, forks frozen midair, and I turned away. The Thanksgiving table, piled with cold food and heavy silence, was the last thing I saw before I walked out. I didn't look back, not because it didn't hurt. God, it hurt. But as the door clicked shut behind me and the November chill bit into my skin, something cracked open inside me. For the first time in years, my lungs filled completely. I didn't go home. Instead, I drove to the lake, the one Dad and I used to visit when I was a kid, where he'd teach me to cast a line and wait. I parked by the water, engine off, and just sat there. The surface was still, unbroken. No voices, no demands, no hands reaching for me. Just quiet. For the first time in too long, I felt nothing pulling at me. No guilt, no weight, just the dark water, the cold air, and the simple aching relief of being alone. The next morning, nothing. The day after, still silence. Then on the third day, it all came crashing in. First, my mom. A missed call. Another. Then her voice raw in the voicemail. You really mean it. We were angry, but we're still your family. I left it unanswered. Then Elena's text, sharp as knives. You don't even realize what you've done. Derek's filing for divorce. Are you happy? Something is really wrong with you. And then my dad, heavy with disappointment, you went too far. We all said things we regret, but what you did was nuclear. Your mother is a wreck. Come fix this. I didn't reply. Not to any of them. And the strangest thing? I thought guilt would eat me alive. I expected sleepless nights, the weight of did I go too far? Crushing me. But instead, peace. For the first time in years, I slept. No more analyzing every word. No more twisting myself into knots. Just quiet. Just rest. For the first time in 10 long years, I could finally breathe. No more waiting for the next crisis. No more frantic Cash App demands in the dead of night. No more guilt wrapped in the guise of emergencies. I woke up early now, not out of fear, but because I wanted to. I ran. I brewed my coffee slow, savoring it. I made the appointments I'd been avoiding for years. Dentist, doctor, therapist. Not because I was shattered, but because I was finally free to put myself first. I rewrote my emergency contacts. My parents' names were gone. I changed every password, froze every account they could touch. I blocked Elena everywhere, not out of spite, but survival. This wasn't revenge anymore. It was me reclaiming my life. Then a week after Thanksgiving, Sophia texted, my cousin, the one who'd clapped when they voted me out. I didn't know you paid for my tuition. I'm sorry. I followed the crowd. The words sat heavy in my hands. Too little, too late. But still, they came. You were always the one who actually helped. The words sat heavy in my chest. I read them twice, letting them sink in. Then another surprise. Derek's name flashed on my screen. I filed the papers. Everything in that folder checked out. She cheated, lied, manipulated. Not just you. Me too. A pause. Then, you did the right thing. I should have left sooner. I hadn't expected that. But it landed. Hard. A few days later, I did something I hadn't done in years. I applied for a job in another city. Not because I was running. Because I was finally free. No more you should stay close to home. No more who will take care of them if you leave. I started reaching out to friends I hadn't seen in years. People I'd drifted from because I was always drowning in family stuff. And the wildest part? Some of them had already seen my post on Reddit. A stocking with my name on it. Empty. That's when it hit me. Not as a guilt trip, not as a plea, but as a quiet, aching truth. They missed me. And for the first time, I let myself feel it too. The weight of what I'd walked away from settled in, not as regret, but as something deeper, more complicated. I stared at that photo for a long time. The half-finished tree, the lights casting soft shadows. My name hanging there like a question. No words, just that hollow space where I used to be. I didn't reply. What could I say? That I missed them too, even as I knew I couldn't go back. That the peace I'd found was worth the emptiness in their living room. Christmas passed. The silence stretched. And in that quiet, I realized some choices don't end neatly. They just ache beautifully and terribly forever. The presents were gone. Just a massive empty space where they should have been. The caption cut deep. It doesn't feel the same without you. Mia keeps asking why Uncle isn't coming this year. I stared at it, my chest tight. No apology. No taking responsibility. Just that same old guilt. Look what you've done. Look who you're hurting. I didn't answer. December 25th. Elena called. I let it ring until the silence swallowed the sound. Then her text came. I know I messed up, but you don't have to punish everyone. Just come by for Mia. She misses you. 2 minutes later, another one. Also, Mom and Dad are behind on their mortgage. I know you don't care anymore, but the bank called today. Thought you'd want to know. There it was. The real reason, wrapped in guilt like always. The ask. The fake softness always came first, but in the end, it was always the same. A request. So I blocked the number. Then on December 25th, another message. This time from Dad. You made your point. We get it. But enough is enough. We need help. We're still your blood. That night I sat alone by the fireplace, wine in hand, staring at the quiet emptiness of my apartment. No tree, no noise, just me and the suffocating silence they swore would ruin me. And for the first time, I was grateful for it. But it didn't stop. January. A call from an unknown number. Muscle memory made me answer. Is this Jonathan? A man's voice. Yes, sir. Who's calling? Michael, he said. I'm calling on behalf of your father. My blood ran cold when he said it. He mentioned you're the primary executive of the family trust? I revoked that role 2 months ago, I snapped, my voice tight. It's done. The family attorney finalized everything. My name isn't on a single document anymore. The man hesitated. I see, a beat. Your father said he couldn't reach you directly. He asked me to explore options. They're in a bit of a bind. Of course they were. Elena, my parents. They'd burned through every last lifeline. The ATM was shut down. The safety net, gone. Now they were scrambling, trying to claw their way back in. I hung up without another word. But February brought the final blow. An envelope in the mail. No return address, just my mother's handwriting staring back at me. 3 pages. 3 pages of words I didn't want to read. The first page was heavy with regret, each line carved into me. We said things in anger. You've always been the strong one. We never realized how much we leaned on you. The words twisted like a knife. Then came the guilt, sharp and relentless. Your father's health isn't good. Elena's completely alone now. We're worried about Mia. She's struggling. Like they knew exactly where to press. And then the final blow. We're selling the house, but we're underwater on the mortgage. We just need a little help to get through this. Then we'll never ask again. A pause. A breath. The last plea, the one they knew I couldn't ignore. Please, Jonathan, do it for your father. Do it for the family. I sat there, the letter in my hands, letting it all sink in. The weight of their expectations, the years of silence now shattered by need. The choice wasn't really a choice at all. I got up, folded the letter, and walked to the kitchen. My hands didn't shake. My breath didn't catch. I just dropped it in the trash. Because they weren't asking for help, not really. They were asking for access. Not to me, not to the person I am now, but to the version of me who never pushed back. The one who paid without question, who swallowed every hurt, who carried their weight without complaint. But that man doesn't exist anymore. I'm not their scapegoat, not their golden goose, not the patchwork holding their broken pieces together. I'm done. And the worst part for them? I'm okay. Better than okay. I landed a new job, moved to a new city, bigger place, fresh start. I volunteer on weekends now, not out of obligation, but because I choose to. I built a life where the phone doesn't ring at 11 p.m. with demands, and I don't miss it. I needed a place where my independence isn't a crime, where my mistakes aren't twisted into weapons against me, where kindness isn't just another debt to collect. Helping them? I don't regret that, but I do regret how long I let it drain me. You think peace is being surrounded by family? No. Real peace is finally being free from people who only remember your name when they need something. Update, months later. I didn't expect this to be seen. I just needed to say it, to let it out. But I read every word you wrote. To those who told me you were brave, they don't deserve you. Thank you. I didn't realize how badly I needed to hear that until I did. And to the ones who asked, but what if they change? Believe me, I've wondered the same. It's been months now. They didn't. After the folder, after the screaming, after the silence in the letters, after I finally cut them off, I let myself hope, just for a second, that maybe they'd see it, that they'd stop finally and say, we're sorry. But they didn't. They never do. First, they went quiet. Then they got calculating. Then they panicked. And then, like always, they turned cruel. But me, I walked away. I moved. Found a job that doesn't claw at my chest in the dark. Started real therapy. The kind where you stop stitching up everyone else's wounds and finally tend to your own. I cook now. I sleep. I step outside just to feel the sun. The phone rings and my hands don't shake. And Mia, God, Mia. Sometimes I lie awake wondering what they're teaching her, what she'll grow up thinking love is supposed to feel like. But that's not mine to carry anymore. But here's what I know. I became the example of someone who finally said enough. A few days ago, another letter arrived. My mom's handwriting, shaky but familiar. Just 3 words, we're still family. No explanation. No remorse. No shift. The same tired line like nothing had changed. And for the first time, it didn't break me. No rage. No ash. Just emptiness. I tossed it in the trash and went on with my night, stirring a pot on the stove like it was any other Wednesday. But I came back here because this place, these strangers, saw me in ways my own family never could. They gave me clarity when I was drowning in doubt. So tell me, did I do the right thing? Walking away, cutting the rope, refusing to carry it all anymore? Was I cruel? Or was I just finally done being the only one trying to hold us together? I don't have all the answers, but I know this. For the first time in my life, I'm not just surviving, I'm breathing. Am I really living? The question haunts me. Did I make the right choice? The doubt gnaws at me, relentless and raw. Every day I wonder, was this the path I was meant to take? The weight of uncertainty presses down, heavy and unyielding. I just want to know, did I do the right thing?